Some very well-informed people say about the recent incidences concerning the president's security that these are normal. They happen all the time. Like in any other undertaking in life, problems have to occur from time to time. But these informed sources say that they're concerned that now these mishaps, which have been happening all the time, have been publicized. They say that although they have no idea what the intentions here are, clearly somebody is deliberately trying to create the impression that there's some incompetency in the presidential escort. Now, I was really intrigued when this particular view was repeated in our comments area in the previous video on this channel I did on this subject. I was really intrigued. But in today's show, I would like to cover the fascinating life of a commander of the presidential escort from the past who was faced twice with crazy situations. One, a terrible situation that he came out of, and the second, a situation where he had to make a decision. I believe this will give us valuable insight into the current situation we're facing with the presidential escort of President Uhuru Kenyatta. The name of the man I'm referring to is Bernard Kiare Njinu. Bwana Njinu is still alive today and in quiet retirement somewhere in Gatundu. But his encounters, his encounters on the job are most fascinating, and I'm sure they'll be of great interest as I share them with you here today. And let's start with the first one. On your screens right now, you can see a very dramatic photograph, taken moments before all hell broke loose on October 25th, 1969. The incident that came to be known as the Kshs massacre. Yes, Bernard Njinu was the commander of the presidential escort of President Kenyatta at the time. Now we have many detailed videos on this channel on the Kshs massacre in case you want to catch up on precisely what happened then. There should be a link leading up to that particular video on the top right hand corner of your screens right now. In the photograph on your screens, you can see Bernard Njinu, very tall, towering above everybody else, trying to calm things down, but of course in vain. Njinu is actually 6 foot 3 inches. What? That's tall. The other arrow on the photograph points to the President of the Republic of Kenya then, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, sandwiched around his presidential security men, who are clearly seen going for their guns. Now in 2009, Bwana Njinu was interviewed for a newspaper article, and what he had to say for the first time about this incident is most fascinating. And I quote, "I did not give the order for the police to fire. I do not know who did. All morning, tension had been building and had now reached the boiling point." Now, for those interested in going deeper into events, this confirms what we have pointed out on this channel, that this event in Kisumu was actually stage managed. Because think about it. You are commandant of the presidential escort. You are the one who is supposed to issue orders. But somebody else, who the commandant of the police escort at that time does not know to this day, or so he claims, gave the order. and he has no idea who gave that order, but the order was given. Much has been written about this day and many theories presented, but bottom line, the order to open fire was wrong. Although we must also take note of the fact that the presidential escort in those days did not have the kind of professionals we have today. In those days, some of the men you see in the pictures were drawn from Kanu Youth Wing. Oh yes. And then taken through some crash course. Remember, Kenya was a very young nation then. You had just gained independence barely 6 years earlier, in 1963. And don't get me wrong, I'm not making any excuses for anybody, just giving you the facts. Incident number 2. In the late 70s, I believe the year was 1977, Njinu was still commandant of the presidential guard of President Jomo Kenyatta. And he returned from leave to find, right on the grounds of State House, an unfamiliar unit which had camped there. This was the anti-stock theft unit. And Bwana Njinu did not hesitate. He did not stop to find out who gave the order for that unit to be there. Instead, he immediately removed them from State House. In my view, without this single action, the history of Kenya would have gone in a very different direction. Because as it was later discovered, the anti-stock theft unit were actually working for the Kiambu Mafia surrounding the president. And their big job was to smoothen the way for the evil plans of the Kiambu Mafia for the Kenyatta succession, so that the presidency would pass on to one of them, never leave Kiambu. And although we can only speculate as to the motive, of introducing an armed unit right inside the State House, it is clear that the motive was not good for Kenya, and indeed its future. Bwana Njinu, of course, ended up being appointed police commissioner by President Moi, and that is where he ended up his long, illustrious career. Although that career ended up rather unceremoniously, because one morning, January 18th, 1988, Bwana Njinu received a call from the permanent secretary in the office of the president then, a man called Hezekiah Yugi, directing him to vacate the office immediately because he had been retired. This was probably very predictable because Bwana Njinu had ended up on the wrong side of politicians. Because he was always firm. He refused to twist or dance according to their tune. In my view, a great Kenyan unsung hero. If you're familiar with this channel, you will know that we always make a huge effort to give you very deep analysis and background of what is going on. And I believe this historical background of the presidential escort is useful, especially for those who want to make head and tail of the recent security mishaps linked to the president. But one problem of going in very deep into issues is that you come up with highly sensitive information, which is very difficult to share on this public channel. And that is why we have the weekly intelligence briefings, where this motu kama pasi information is usually included. Take a few minutes to listen to this earlier recording of what my WIB's weekly intelligence briefings are all about, and the highly sensitive, very interesting information you may be missing. And at the end, please don't forget to give me a like if you enjoyed this video. While I try my very best to give you real value on this public channel and to give you all the valuable information I can. The truth is, there's some information that is way too sensitive to share on this public channel. That information usually ends up in my weekly intelligence briefings, which is usually moto kama pasi. Just to give you a few examples, what really happened to former President of Tanzania, Dr. John Pombe Magufuli? Is it true that he passed on at a Nairobi hospital? Actually, the Magufuli inside story is nothing short of mind-boggling. Most people who have taken in my WIB number 52, which contains this information, have been left breathless. Even the most hardened cynics have been left bila words, if I can put it in the Kenyan way. Another example of a WIB that I published recently. There is a secret that those who are close to Raila Odinga have guarded and continue to guard with everything they have. Why is this particular secret so sensitive? And what is it anyway? It is contained in one of my WIBs. In fact, a recent one. And there's much more, including things you'd never imagine that are happening in the corridors of power that neatly explain what we see unfolding in the public domain. Bottom line, you will never look at Kenyan politics in the same way again after you become a WIB subscriber. Indeed, it is true to say that in most instances, the truth is stranger than fiction, and sometimes much more difficult to believe than fiction. But it remains the naked truth. And now you have a golden opportunity of becoming a weekly intelligence briefing subscriber on a monthly basis, which will automatically give you access to every single WIB ever produced. Oh yes, I will send you all the WIBs immediately you become a subscriber. And to become a monthly subscriber, all you need is $9.95 only, or Kenya shillings 995 only. Simply send a blank email to the email address you see on your screens right now, and you'll get an automated response via email instantly, within seconds, with full payment instructions and what you need to do. The same full payment instructions are also included in the description area below this video on YouTube. I strongly recommend that you go for it, because this offer will not last for much longer. I really look forward to seeing you on the other side as a WIB subscriber. Thanks so much for your support. It means a lot to me. And I'm saying that very sincerely from the bottom of my heart. I look forward to seeing you on the other side as a WIB subscriber. Until next time, this is Kshs. Kumekucha.